Good evening and welcome to Xbox Tavern's Xbox Tavern episode 82nd. On this wonderful Sunday evening at 8 p.m.
Ish.
Coming hot off the presses after myself and old Scottish Gruff Ross.
Oh yeah.
Just checked out the Microsoft/Bethesda showcase for 2022 and we're to discuss that and many more news items. We'll get to that. We're also joined by Graham, MPV Graham, sorry. Whoa,
hello. Back up here.
Hello, yeah.
And ladies' favourite Daniel.
Hello, with a new style. Do you like the
new
camera?
style, new camera angle.
By new style, do you mean you've done your hair for a change?
I've got a cut. Look at that.
I know.
I feel like we're sort of perving upon you now, like we've got a camera in the corner of the room looking at you like,
I feel like that haircut's going to last like one episode.
God,
That's
he's wearing shorts.
Oh yeah.
If you're an audio listener, you're missing out on some
And if
sexy
you like
legs.
what you see there, that is OnlyFans / Daniel
Only
Xbox Tavern.
Dan's. Right.
It's only Dan's.
Gentlemen,
Killing me.
big Xbox stuff just happened. So let's get into the most important part that we need to discuss. Resident Evil 4 was revealed last week. And none of you talked about it, you motherfuckers.
No, we didn't. We
Not
thought
a single mention.
We thought we'd cover important games.
Oh,
Yeah.
outrageous. Anyway, Resident Evil 4 remake looks really good. Right, Microsoft Bethesda showcase has happened. Kicked off with Redfall, which I want to discuss first very quickly. Did you guys all get to check out the trailer for Redfall?
I did. It looked interesting. It's a very souped up, sort of Back for Blood, but a bit more story-ish base. It doesn't look as
linear.
Yeah.
Doesn't look go from point A to point B and that's it. Do X amount of
like you
things in
stand
between.
a chance. It's like you're expecting swarms and you look like you're supposed to handle swarms rather than just getting constantly humped.
I did like all the new all the things that it basically told you the bits about the character. So I think Jay's favourite character, the one with the purple telekinetic powers, how she had like the telekinetic teen with something to do with like it all rhymed basically. It was telekinetic something with something shooting debt. And then
Layla Ellison is her name.
Yeah.
She's the only one it seems that's got powers. The rest have all just got sort of abilities with weapons and machinery and stuff. But yeah, she looks pretty interesting.
But no, it was positive for what we've seen of it so far. And I think I can't remember when I was saying in the live show to Jay if it was pre-alpha or pre-beta gameplay, whatever it said it was. So for how it looked based on that, that's quite a positive feature as well.
Looks good, didn't it?
It
Also,
looked quite good.
I was going to say, surely I thought we weren't led to believe that it was like a Left 4 Dead or Back 4 Blood style of game.
Well,
I wasn't expecting that.
Well, I think that's what they said when it is four-player PvE in a bit of an open world with Dishonored style powers and mechanics and the feel of that and Prey, like the gameplay. So it's not just you're just not running around shooting. You've got powers and abilities that you can combine and work together to overcome the enemies and stuff. And I think they show quite a decent range of what they got in the trailer. I was just trying to catch up and watch it again before we started this. But yeah, it looks more hectic than I would like from an Arcane game.
Yeah,
But
you
it
were
also
saying
looks
that.
like a lot better combat than Dishonored. Obviously, Dishonored is a big stealth game. That's why I like it so much. The gunplay I always thought was a bit weak, but this looked like it's taken lessons from Left 4 Dead, Back 4 Blood, Borderlands, stuff like that. And it looked like it actually had competent gunplay as well as powers and an open world and stuff to explore. Graham, you trying to say something? Sorry.
No, I was just going to say you can't have a 4-player attacking swathes of enemy and not liking it to Back 4 Blood or Left 4 Dead, because that's technically what that genre is.
It's basically like a horde type idea, but in an open map. Yeah.
But it's got vampires and stuff in it. It's got different lore, and it is trying to set itself apart. And it doesn't have to do much to sort of get away from that sort of linear kind of style.
Well, that's what me and Jay were saying during the show. It was, as much as everybody knows it's about the vampires aspect, but obviously there was humans with like weapons and stuff like that, and then Jay was saying that's like cultists. So they've obviously got quite a few different types of enemies. Like I think, you could see during it, there's different levels of vampires that you'll fight. Grunts from just like human forms. I would imagine, based on the fact that there's humans that have powers that you can play of, there'll also be baddies that'll be similar type of idea. So they've got like a vast selection of characters. So that by itself separates it from Back 4 Blood, Left 4 Dead type idea.
Yeah, she said in the trailer, obviously you can hear it. She said you got vampires, humans that are trying to become vampires, and those that have died, basically. So those cultists, I think, are going to be trying to harness the power of vampireness. And then obviously, as you said, you've got your own players who are trying to fight back against it. I don't think they showed if there's any other sort of AI on your side or any factions you can join or anything like that, but you don't need them. If you've got fucking purple powers, well, you don't need to fucking any help. Just fucking duff them up.
Can see loot or skins being a heavy play in this with the gun all decked out in purple with lots of stickers and stuff.
Yeah, the first wee bit when you first just see that purple gun, it looked really nice, and even the like pistols with all the different attachments on them looked really like quite crisp.
Yeah, so that was a nice thing to start the show with, to see Redfall. Obviously, it was delayed until 2023, but it was good to see some proper actual gameplay, and it looked a lot better than the leaks when they had it a few months back when the images come out and it doesn't look like a very good. Fuck off. It looks decent now. We've got a decent showing for it. We're not going to go through every single game because there was I'm just looking at BGC who's done a bit of a roundup. They showed 50 games coming to Xbox and PC over the next year, and 43 of them will be available on Game Pass on day one, and the remaining 7 are coming to Game Pass, but they're already out on PC or other consoles and stuff like that. So let's skip down the list a little bit. Halo Infinite coming to Flight Simulator. That was interesting. The old
so you're getting excited.
The old I can't. Why can't I think? What's it called? Pelican. That's it. Yeah, definitely give that a go. Plague Tale Requiem, I thought looked pretty good. I was saying to Ross when the trailer was going off. The first one, I haven't finished it. I was really enjoying it, but one thing I did find was it felt a bit too scripted. Like there was only one way to get through each particular area. You couldn't really experiment too much, whereas this one looked like it maybe opens it up a little bit more. So that would be interesting. Did anyone else watch the trailer for this one?
While listening to you guys.
Yeah, you played. G was saying you completed that one, Dan. The first one.
No, I don't think. No, I don't. I haven't touched that one yet. Haven't even put it in my box.
Oh, Dan, you let me down. I thought you finished it.
G was adamant you had completed it.
Far too much. What's the word? Faith in me.
Yeah,
I know. I was trying to be confident, but
and also we're not coining this phrase. I've done
we are.
Dan.
Oh, we are.
We're not.
Oh, we are.
Yeah, I've got so far and I've given up. I've done a Dan.
That's getting made up. That's getting Urban Dictionary and everything.
Scorn. Did you guys watch the trailer for Scorn, Dan and Ross? Sorry, Dan and Graham. Sorry.
Scorn's the really fucked up one.
Really messed up
body
first
part
person.
guns and stuff like that.
Was
That was at the very first one.
It was right near. It was close to the start, yeah. But it was.
Was it fourth, fifth video in?
Yeah.
I think.
That game looks seriously messed up. I was saying that to Jay during the recording. It was like the people that come up with this sort of idea for games. It's like you need to have a proper creative imagination as to how to do that.
Yeah,
it's
go
on.
I was going to say 21st of October is coming. So just another Halloween, obviously, and it looks like something to really turn the lights off, put your headphones on, get a nice big screen in front of you, and just
shit your pants.
Yeah, the absolute shit out yourself. Yeah. I was saying to Ross again when we were recording, I've played quite a lot of gruesome and grim things in the last few weeks. So that's pretty much all I played. So I need a bit of a break, but hopefully by the time October comes, I'll be back into the swing a bit. Gray, you're looking like you're a bit confused. Have you managed to find it?
I was trying to find if it was the one I saw, but I think I was looking at the different horror one. I thought the very first one on the showcase was like a horror-based one that you were both enjoying.
Well, the very first one was Redfall.
Okay, I must be thinking of something else then.
This had a lot of the darker palette, didn't it? And the skeletons and monsters or whatever were very sandy yellow. The lights were really dim and low.
Yeah, and it's like body horror, like arms sticking out of walls.
It was properly dark and gruesome.
Twisted features and all that sort of shit. It looks interesting. Looks very interesting.
Does look grim, but no, I didn't see that one. Yeah. But yeah, it does.
But yeah, again, all of these games, as I said, coming to Game Pass day one, all coming to Game Pass at some point in the next 12 months. One other one that's coming in 2022, which initially as we were watching it, I was like, for fuck's sake, I can't stand this style. But the more I watched the trailer, the more I actually quite enjoyed the comedy. Was High on Life. Did you watch that one, guys?
Oh, you have to remind me.
That was the Rick and Morty one. The creators of Rick and Morty, with a gun that's got like a face on the back of it talking to you.
Is that the talking gun ones?
Yeah.
Yeah. What's your thoughts on this one, Ross? Because as I said, I'm not a big fan of that style of the Rick and Morty style. But by the end of the trailer, I was kind of won over.
I've had to go back and watch the trailer because I can obviously hear what the sort of sound was like coming for the guns and what the actual gameplay on it was. But like as we were saying during it, like you could tell that it was going to be like drugs based just on how it was designed, and obviously the name then ties into that. But no, it looked a properly fun little game. Nice to see that it's one that's going to be out this year as well. Yeah,
the knife. At one point, they picked up a knife and had a little face on the handle.
Yeah,
and it said, "Hi, I'm Knifey." And then the next thing is like a stab, and then the enemy goes, "Stab, stab, stab," and you take. He goes, "No, more stab, more stab."
So see, like that sort of comedy would be like, if it's that sort of idea, that'll be a properly funny game to jump into.
That does look pretty cool.
I did quite enjoy Trover's Save the Universe, despite not enjoying the Rick and Morty style so much. But we'll give it a go. Again, day one Game Pass coming this year.
Gave me a vibe of No Man's Skies. It's got that kind of theme and look to it. Forgetting about the talking gun and stuff, just the way it looks.
Yeah, that sort of colourful, like alternate world aesthetic type thing. And then there was a few other bits and pieces for this year. Fallout, not Fallout. Elder Scrolls Online High Isle is coming out next week. So if you're into that sort of thing, that's pretty cool. And then
Overwatch 2.
Overwatch 2 is coming in early access October 4th, I think they said.
Free to play.
Free to play, and as a like early entry type thing.
Sounds super pumped for that one.
Yeah, not my cup of tea. Ross, you're more into the Overwatch type thing.
I'm desperate to jump on it for free to play. It's a great, like, I know you were saying you're not a big fan of Jay, but like as a group game, so obviously you get 5 and 5, so it's an ideal game for like something for us to jump into. But Overwatch is like, again, I'm not a big MOBA fan, but that one in particular was really. I enjoyed the first one. It's quite good that they've got like backstories to the characters as well, so it isn't just like generic characters.
I've seen some of they've
done like
backstory videos on this.
So they've done like
what was it?
They've done Winston, they've done Bastion, I'm trying to think of all the ones they did.
Did they do McCree?
I don't think they did McCree that I can remember. I'm sure they did Reaper.
The ones I was watching, I think they're more like fan-made films.
Yeah, there's fan-made ones, but there is actual like.
What was the site I watched on? Pornhub. That was the one. I've seen them ones.
Dan had that look on his face, like he thought he knew it was coming there, but didn't want to say anything. And then more he kept on saying, "Poor." I was
like, here it comes. Wee.
Too much.
Let me heal you.
I like the one with the monkey. No, anyway, carry on.
I think those I do like those. I'm terrible at Overwatch, but to play your class and to find the person you play and to play it well is always nice. So I'm rubbish at all the classes but healing. I can heal forever, but I kind of
like a motherfucker.
Yeah, but I can't do any of the others. Can't do damage. Can't do shattle. But I'll heal you. Don't worry. Someone else can be a tank and do all that tanky crap. DPS and
just see Dan
else.
fantasizing as being Mercy.
Waving? No, she doesn't have a stick.
She does have a stick.
Oh, big one.
Oh, anyway, moving on from big sticks.
Yeah, big sticks and DP.
And DP, yeah. So VGC are based in this list they've got here off the last infographic they put right at the end of the showcase. And it's got, I said, 50 games, 43 coming to Game Pass day one. They've sort of stretched it out a little bit by adding in something like the Callisto Protocol and Replace, which weren't shown at this showcase. And in terms of Callisto Protocol, aren't exclusive at all, but they're still coming to Xbox, and I guess they're getting some sort of trying to buff up the lineup a little bit. But they mentioned Atomic Heart here, which also wasn't shown.
There's quite a few that haven't shown.
Party Animals, Slime Rancher 2 coming this year. Somerville, which I don't think they showed here, which is the one I thought was the Annapurna one.
No, the Annapurna one was that one?
No, that was another one. I'll find the name in a second. But
was that the one where you had to farm?
Oh, Cocoon.
Cocoon, that's what it was.
Cocoon was the Annapurna one. But yeah, so in terms of this year, we got some pretty decent ones coming in. Still, like I said, Atomic Heart, High on Life, Plague Tale, Warhammer 40,000 Darktide, the full release of Grounded as Dusk Falls in just over a month, which is
that was the one we kept on talking about. Yeah, that's what I was just looking at again.
Live action, visual novel,
good.
Basically, in the vein of something like Walking Dead or the Dark Pictures games, but it's narrative adventure. That looks pretty interesting. And yeah, so that's all sort of stuff for this year. There's plenty of other games here. I'm not going to go through them all. And we get into 2023. And Ross, I don't know if you're busy in spring 2023, but I think we might have a few games to play. I lost count of how many games that come up spring 2023. That's
all it was. Spring 2023. Spring
Jesus.
2023. Spring 2023. I was like, fuck me.
And one was the first quarter of 2023? And
did they mix it up a wee bit, did they?
Yeah, one of only one. As you two were going off going, bloody hell, I'm not going to have time to do anything in spring. This other trailer came up and was like, First quarter.
2023. That'll be just like the last day before it goes into like Q2.
So obviously this list they've got here is for the next 12 months, so up till 12th of June, basically. So no wonder it was to focus heavily on spring. But just running down the list quickly, we've got Redfall, Starfield, Forza Motorsport, the sort of rebuffed shiny ray trace. I don't know if they mentioned ray tracing. I think
once or twice
in the trailer. Minecraft Legends, which is pretty good. One I wanted to get to again. Ask Graham about. Have you watched the trailer yet, Graham? Wolong Fallen Dynasty.
I did. It did look pretty immense. Didn't really show much of the actual gameplay action from the trailer I saw. I don't know if it had any more on the actual thing itself, or was it just a brief thing?
Most of it was just like a CG, that hype trailer, basically.
Yeah, I mean, Team Ninja didn't. Was it the Ninja Gaiden?
Ninja Gaiden guys, yeah, that's what I thought it was at first.
Yeah, that's when you see it with Team Ninja
or a new Neo.
Because it's usually Bandai that you do the Dynasty Warriors and those kind of ones. So it may not be like that, but it piqued my interest definitely.
Yeah.
Although the story of pursuing Lu Bu, that I really don't get that bit. It's like he's like in the games, he's like the massive super powerhouse, like he's built massive and everyone's sort of scared of him. But if you read his backstory thing, he just like he betrayed one of his leaders, defected a couple of times, and then he was captured and killed. I was like, what's so immense about that guy? It's like there's so many other sort of old school samurais that were like amazing, but that one really wasn't one. But hey, it's fine. They've kind of overhyped it now, but it's fine.
Yeah, well, maybe they'll give him a different bit of a spin in this Wolong Fallen Dynasty in spring 2023. And then this for Dan. I don't know if you saw about Riot Games coming to get Game Pass on PC and mobile. So you got League of Legends Wild Rift on mobile, Valorant, Teamfight Tactics, and Legends of Runeterra. Me and Ross were discussing that we thought maybe Valorant was more up your street. Would that be an accurate statement? Do you know what it is?
Yeah, I'm sure I've played a little bit of it. Isn't that the one with the verticality, where you go through the rooms and then as you die you turn into an orb, and am I getting Valorant mixed up with another one that we played?
It's like a first-person shooter mix between Overwatch and Counter-Strike. Basically,
we had basically said it was like Counter-Strike, Apex, and Overwatch. You had abilities, you had stuff like that, and then you had the Apex type style of it, but it was third party.
I'm sure.
Person, sorry.
I'm pretty sure I've tried this. Talk amongst yourself, and we'll quickly check a trailer because I missed that. I was doing my ironing as I was listening to you guys.
I think what me and Jay were saying about it is it's the games might not be for everybody. I know we were saying that it wasn't like League of Legends and Valorant weren't maybe up in me and Jay's street, but getting Riot Games and getting a game that the size of League of Legends and what League of Legends brings to them, and I know that obviously you've got your like free to play just downloading the Riot Games and stuff like that, but having it through Game Pass and people using the Game Pass app, using it through mobile to do the other ones, it's just going to add more and more to Microsoft's, not game studios, but the Game Pass type idea of it. Because you've got League of Legends, have got their following that's ridiculous, and then they've also got the competitive side of it as well, which is another avenue that can get tied in with Microsoft as well.
They're bringing, as you said, all these games to Game Pass. In terms of League, they're bringing all champions unlocked, which means fuck all to me. I don't know how many all champions.
Fucking ridiculous amount of champions.
I imagine, it's quite a lot, and the same for the mobile version. Legends of Runeterra. I tried it at AGX or Res or something at some point, and it's like Hearthstone basically, but with Leagues of Legends characters. And it was alright. Not my cup of tea per se, but it was alright. But I think Valorant's going to be the real big one, which according to this infographic, is all agents unlocked. So again, however many characters that is, you're basically going to get the whole lot for free chucked in with your Game Pass subscription.
Now I've seen it. Yes, I am happy. It wasn't the game I was thinking. I was thinking of that Ubisoft title that was dog shit.
Not Hyperscape.
That was it. Yeah. I'm getting the two missed. But yeah, Valorant. Yeah, can't wait. Even though at the moment I'm on a Fortnite kind of tipple, but Valorant I will be jumping in.
Nice. So you can wait till spring 2023 to find out more about that one. That'd be exciting. And then let me just get my list back up. Sorry, I've got rid of it. We'll get to the big one in a second, but the other main one I wanted to talk to you, especially you, Grayman, about is Diablo 4. Coming. Doesn't say Game Pass on here, but it's coming to 2023. Coming early 2023 to Xbox.
That game looked fucking incredible.
I'm surprised it doesn't say Game Pass, because I'm sure in the trailer it said Game Pass, didn't it?
We should see in the trailer.
All of them said it.
yeah, it's just it's infographic here. Everything's labelled with Game Pass, but not Diablo 4. Anyway, it's coming. Graham, tell me about Diablo. Excited? Did you watch it? Is it look good?
I didn't watch that one. I missed that one. But to be honest, I played a lot of games like Diablo, but I didn't actually properly play all of the Diablos. I haven't played 3 either. But,
so I got on a Diablo late. I didn't start Diablo until 3. 3? What was the one that had the DLC? Fallen Souls or something? I'm sure it was 3.
I think the last one was 3, so it probably is that one.
And that was the one I got started on. And I didn't realise it dealt with like angels and stuff like that. I seen the game, it looked cool, decided to pick it up, played it by myself. Which I was saying to Jay on the live show, that it's not the best way to play that type of game, but fantastic type of game. What's the game we played as Project Game Pass? The Ascent? Was it the Ascent? Yeah. The one that's same type of idea with the camera type angle. And no, it was fantastic. And I think adding in the open world elements, it didn't give us much details, or I could be wrong, I need to double check it. The details with the open world, not the open world, with the shared worlds, where they had the big boss that spawned in, and it looked like there was at least 15 plus characters attacking it. So I'd be curious to find out how many people you get in a world, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
It did look like you said there was a big gaggle of people in a world event, I think they called it.
Yeah, so
And there was a huge fucking demon fest spawned and loads of people trying to fight it.
but I'd imagine it'll be 4-player co-op.
I was saying though, with the 5 classes, will it be 5?
I said that to Jay in the show, thinking that, but then that doesn't really mean anything because there's games that have got that sort of thing as well, and then they only do 4-player co-op. 5 would be great, but I don't think they'll go to 5.
Yeah, I'm just wondering whether the powers. I can't remember whether that you need. I played it single player as well, Diablo, and I can't remember whether each class kind of what's the word, enhances the other class. So if you did the rogue with the I can't think what another one would be,
like the necromancer, for example.
That would enhance the necromancer, or vice versa.
There's certain things that one character will buff another character because of the way that they interlink and things like that. I think when it comes to doing like the dungeons and like the raids, whatever that big boss or whatever they're going to class that as, I think when it comes to things like that, they were saying that it will heavily depend on working together and synchronizing like a squad. So you're going to need to have your tank, you're going to have your mage, you're going to have your necromancer, your rogue, your templar, whatever the characters are, to be successful in that sort of thing. So I do think that they will have stuff that will interlink to buff characters and make them perform better when it comes to this sort of games.
Yeah, well,
that new necromancer class looks fucking awesome as well. It would get me right in. If I can play as that, let me summon stuff. Basically, between that and Redfall, I just want to summon things. I'm not interested in fighting anyone. Just let me stand in the back and summon purple monsters to fight for me, because I can't fight. I'm not very good at video games. And then last couple, I want to just give a quick shout out before we get to the main. Hang on, was it world premiere? Is Cocoon from Annapurna and some people behind Limbo and Inside, which look pretty interesting, almost like a not time travel, like depth travel. So you get to a level and then you go into an orb and you sort of go down layers deeper and deeper and deeper. And the last case of Benedict Fox, which I thought looked pretty interesting, like a 2D side scrolling, almost adventure puzzle game. Looked pretty interesting, really. But yeah, there was some decent games that it showed. I think me and Ross agreed that it was a little bit slow, perhaps in like the midpoint. There was a lot of updates to games that were already out, or DLC, or games that were just like really niche, like that. What's it called? Our History Untold, almost like a Civ style game.
But they went too high, too quick, didn't they?
Yeah.
And looking at that infographic that we've got now, if you could pick some of these, you were going to go, oh, okay, there's not many that I could stack. You need a show starter and you need a showstopper. There's not many that you could dot in between to give you that kind of nice ebb and flow throughout the show, especially for an hour and a half as well. And I think an hour and a half is too long for.
Yeah, they did put a lot in. To be fair, I mean they could have cut it in half. They could have cut it 45 minutes and only put things like Redfall, Forza, Overwatch 2, Minecraft. They could have only just put the big ones in, the Diablo, and then obviously round it off with the Kojima and the StarCraft stuff. But that said, and I had a wee bit of time between shows that I could actually go back and listen to them. I'd taken a wee note of all the games that got mentioned, so I went back to look at them. And there was a couple of ones that caught my eye, having them being able to listen to what them were about. One of them was that Erebin Shadow Legacy, and it's the one where you're fighting against the robot type armies. Yeah. That looked, now that I went back and listened to it and watched it, that looks really good. I thought that was the one by Baby Robot and Raw Fury. I think you mentioned that during the show that Raw Fury do.
Raw Fury put out some fucking bangers. They're almost like an Annapurna, but for more, rather than Annapurna sort of do high class stuff. Raw Fury just do fucking like action, high intense, just in your face games, and they're brilliant.
That one looks great. That Flintlock, the one that was you seem to think it was like a Souls type idea.
Yes.
And like, so basically when I first seen it, I got quite a lot of Fable vibes, just with like the skeleton type archers and warriors that you're fighting against. But it's obviously got the melee combat with the gunplay, which is again very Fable-esque, that you swap between the two. You've got magic and stuff like that. That one's another one that looked amazing. what was the other one? There was another one that had jumped out that really looked quite good, and for the life of me, well, we got Vin Diesel, but apart from that, there was another one. I'm trying to remember what it was.
What about family? What about Pentiment? You're quite a fan of.
No, that was the one
That was clearly. I mean, again, each to their own. I'm not dissing anybody if they enjoy something, but that particular art style, like I said to Ross, it's like it's almost like a Monty Python style.
Yeah.
I cannot stand it. If it gives, not that I don't like it, it just gives the creeps. I hate it. Creepy. Anyway.
That was the one. It was that Naraka, which I was saying that I think Gray would like as well. But it's one of these things that you need to be into that type of game where it had like the UV 60 other people in the game, and then it had a campaign that they were introducing it. Again, because it's coming into Game Pass, I'll probably have a look at it. But it's one of these ones where I don't have the skill level to do all the fancy ass shit that they're doing on the game. It just looks incredible.
Yeah. Yeah, that could be an interesting one to play. I think if you can do some like squads or something, that might be quite fun to jump into and have a go at. But like you said, it's going to be quite tricky to be any good at that sort of thing.
Yeah. Did you have a look at that one, Gray?
What was that?
Naraka Blade Point.
Yeah, it's like a battle royale, which I know is instantly going to turn you off. But it's like melee combat, like swords, almost like Dynasty Warriors, like swords and magic spells and stuff.
Joined 10 million players in the mythical action battle royale, but then they have a campaign that they've introduced to it as well.
Coming day one to Game Pass.
I remember you saying about battle royale. I remember you saying that, but I didn't get to watch that bit.
Yeah, so that was another one that looked incredible. And again, like I was saying to Jay on the live show, it's having looked at all these games and as with Annapurna and stuff and things like that, doing like even because most of them are cloud based, spend 20 minutes going from A to Z in Game Pass and see what you like, because there is going to be some ones that are in there that you would never have expected to like, and you'll end up falling in love with them. And I think games like that, Erebin, which I'm really looking forward to, I think that will be really good. The Cocoon one that you had said, Jay, and the Naraka, even though it's got the Battle Royale playing through the campaign, is another one that will be really enjoyable to jump into. On top of obviously your big ones that we're going to get to as well.
Yeah, so we'll get to the final big bad boy. One very quick. I had forgotten about the Kojima bit. I was a bit disappointed that they didn't have anything to show.
I don't think they have anything to show you. That's the problem.
I mean, it's been rumored for fucking a month of Sundays at this point, and he sort of built up. We're working with this legendary developer, and we're excited to Hideo Kojima. And he come on and he'd spoken for like 20 seconds. He said, "I'm going to be working with Xbox and the cloud." Bye. And I was, what? Not even like an image or a logo or like an idea of what it is. It's just a new experience that no one's ever made before. But how many times have you said that before?
I'm curious as to why he specifically mentioned the cloud.
Yeah, well, that's been the big rumor, isn't it, that he's working with the cloud to make a game sort of not solely based on it, but that heavily uses it.
Yeah, and I'm intrigued as to why he was. Like, he made a point of going on about the cloud.
Yeah, it's going to enable him to fucking up the Death Stranding thing where people could build bridges for each other and have them, I don't know, build an entire fucking universe together or some shit. I don't know. It's going to be interesting because Kojima is Kojima, but
yeah, it's going to have some.
So much for the fabled horror game that was supposed to be.
But then it might be that. It might be a horror type AAA that nobody's experienced, like, because Resident Evil's not AAA. Silent Hill.
Ross.
It was too easy a shot not to take.
So,
so I'm curious to see what he's going to do that, but it was the whole thing about going on about the cloud that sort of intrigued me the most.
Yeah, and if anyone's going to make the cloud be used for something weird and probably quite interesting, it's going to be fucking Kojima and his crew of merry men.
Anything's better than Crackdown 3.
Let's not get into that wonderful experience. Anyway, right, gentlemen, main event time.
Oh,
Daniel, I'm going to go straight to you. Did you watch the Starfield extended gameplay, and what did you think?
I did. Yeah, I'm worried. 1,000 planets. No, thank you.
I heard that and I was like, oh, challenge accepted.
I saw your desk raise so much.
That wasn't the mechanisms either.
Yeah, it looks good. I'm very interested.
Good.
It really puts me off 1,000 planets to explore.
Man.
However, okay, to strip it all back, but that is possibly just at the starting point, 1,000 different experiences for almost every person who plays it.
Yep.
Which is friggin' mind blowing. But like I said, it looks great. I want to play it. I want to see what happens. I need friggin' red dot sights on my guns. I can't be dealing with this stuff.
Well, if there's
But
not
that's the
at
thing.
least one red dot sight in 1,000 planets,
the weapon customization looked fucking incredible as well. I mean, I'll let everybody speak before I go off my fucking high horse about it. But
I was going to say we'll get back to you.
yeah, I'll sit back and make the podcast 3 hours once you're finished.
Great. Did you check out the Starfield trailer?
I didn't get the chance to. That's exactly when I was putting the kids to bed, so I completely missed that bit. I only saw the people talking about it afterwards, comparing it to the other space game where you're exploring planets.
No Man's Sky.
I was going to say No Man's Sky. I can't remember if that was the other one, but yeah,
Beyond Good and Evil.
But and they were showing gameplay that looked very No Man's Sky-ish, but they're saying it's like a way more detailed and story-based version of that kind of planet exploration. And I like No Man's Sky, so this is a win-win for me. So Fallout combined with that is, I'm all over this kind of thing. But
Nice.
1,000 different experiences is concerning because last time we saw that where you can explore a lot of planets was in Mass Effect, where it's like you can explore these different planets, but it's just like you're harvesting resources. You're just driving that fucking buggy around looking for stuff.
There's
like,
nothing there.
That's the one I could do without if it's just doing that. But if it's something interesting on each of these different ones, then absolutely it could be amazing.
I'm with you too. Like as soon as he said that, like, let's see how big Starfield is. And I was like, oh, here we go. It's going to be like, fuck it. He's going to say it's going to take 300 hours to beat. But if you've got 1,000 different planets that you can land anywhere on and explore, granted, there's not going to be everything everywhere. You're going to have big stretches, I imagine, of blank nothingness. But even just if you've got like one city on 1,000 different planets, that's 1,000 cities you've still got to explore, to chat to the people, to get quests, to do this, to do that.
Well, basic maths. If you spend an hour on each planet, that's still 1,000 hours.
Exactly. So, I mean, it's just gonna. My mind boggles. Even, and then you got space battles and space travel. You got base building, which I know Ross was very excited for. Personally, that bit put me off, but the ship building was more exciting.
I was going to say that Black dude from Fallout is going to say, there's some trouble in another planet that I need to help with.
This one's an Alpha Centauri, the other one's like 13 systems that way. Good luck.
And he still knows he's in the know.
Yeah.
And I mean, one thing I want to say before we hand over to Ross and we can all go and have a quick break is it looked very good. It looked a lot better than I expected it to, like in terms of visuals and the quality of the environments and that. Because obviously Skyrim, as old as it is, it looks its age at this point, and Fallout 76 looks its age, whereas this looked like a proper new next gen shiny.
Singing all dancing.
And see what happens. Yeah. They didn't mention ray tracing like Forza mentioned. I think Forza took up the quota of ray tracing.
Yeah, we're only allowed 100 in the show, and Forza, you took them all. Sorry. Sorry.
Yeah, I couldn't believe how many times they mentioned ray tracing. But yeah, it looked very good. And as much as I prefer Elder Scrolls to Fallout, this does look like something that I'm going to lose at least, well, hopefully not 1,000 hours to, but at least a couple of 100 hours, I imagine.
6 or 7.
Yeah. It looked good. The systems, the depth that they're showing look pretty interesting. But let's hand over to Ross, shall we? Because I need to adjust my position. Ross, tell us all about your impressions of this deep dive. What was it, about 10 minutes, 15 minutes of gameplay?
It wasn't enough, put it like that.
Well, not even enough to fucking land on a planet, let alone explore anything.
So obviously it starts off, the first place that you go to is Crete, the moon. You've got your robot companion, which is Vasco. and he'll obviously be following you and doing things with all the different stuff that's to do on the planets. As I was saying to Jay in the live show, just like the small details, the sensor at the bottom, so obviously that'll change based on your planet. It was like monitoring your carbon dioxide, your oxygen, was showing the planet on a day-night cycle, stuff like that. That part there, for thinking a better fucking sci-fi movie than I can, was very Riddick type idea, the very first one, Pitch Black, where once it went to darkness and stuff like that. So I think they're going to add in elements like that. You don't put a day-night cycle in something if you're not going to play on it. Then to New Atlantis, which I think me and Jay were saying was going to be like the hub world type idea. So if you think Fallout 4 Sanctuary, it's going to be, that's your main base. You'll jump back there whenever you need to do anything major in regards to like upgrades and stuff like that. Character creation. I think me and Jay were saying that the character models where they're like expressive. I think there was one character that looked like he had no expression whatsoever.
Black dude, when it is like, I was like, oh, these are really expressive, and then he's like,
let's go.
Oh, they've done it.
So I think most of them looked incredible. The characters, the actual character model looked really good. It looked like a proper person instead of some of the ones in Fallout that had, questionable looks. I know yous are all spoil sports and don't appreciate a good base builder, but Fallout 4 was that was good for base building, and I think with this they're going to make it, it's not, well, obviously it's not post-apocalyptic, so it's not going to be bits of fucking pallets stacked up, and that's going to be walls and roofs and stuff like that. So laying out your own base based, I'm presuming you'll not be able to build on all 1,000 worlds, but I can imagine you'll be able to build on quite a few different places. Probably, I think there's 100 star systems in it, so you'll probably be able to build on a good few of them as you traverse through them to not have to travel all the way back, for example, to then go back to the next one.
One thing before you move, I did think it was quite impressive that they said you could staff it up with NPCs you meet as well.
Yes.
So you could get
so
them to
you
look
can
after
hire
your base
them
and your ships and stuff.
So like you could kind of do that in Fallout 4, where you could like assign somebody to look after the plants to grow food. You could assign somebody else for repairs. You could assign somebody to like stalls. So you could do that in Fallout 4. So they've obviously taken that up and ramped that up in regards to like specialists. So you'll go, I would imagine, based on the planet that you'd choose to build your outpost, you're going to have somebody who has to monitor like the air regulator or something, so that if they have to have a conveyor or stuff like that, somebody that's in charge of that, water, food, stuff like that. The ship building looked fucking incredible. Just what you're going to be able to do in regards to making your spaceship. You're obviously going to have different things where you can have like an out-and-out bomber type idea where you're actively seeking fights. I would imagine they're going to have things like space stealth, so you're going to have ones that are quiet and fast, get to A to B without starting fights. There's going to be a lot of depth in that side of it as well. And then 1,000 planets to visit.
Yeah.
Wow. And I think one of them was in Alpha Centauri, which would suggest that it's in our universe. So that would be quite cool to see what they do with that. Obviously, there's numerous TV shows where Alpha Centauri is your end game to try and reach. So it'll be quite cool to see what they do with like the hospitable planets and how they came up with that. The enemies that you've seen on Crete. So I think Jay made a reference to it where in Fallout, if you run across a rad scorpion, it attacks you. You ran across some of the animals on Crete, and because you didn't make an aggressive move towards it, it ran away from you. So it'll be quite interesting to see if they have that sort of passive-aggressive wildlife. So if
not everything is out to kill you immediately.
If you are friendly towards them, they'll not bother you, and it will just be a very normal type thing where it's not like, oh, you've came across something that wants to kill you now. End of story. But no,
fucking mud crabs.
Oh, fucking bastards! Haven't seen the scope that they're aiming for, and I'm going to get slated for this. I can see it. If they want to take to Q4 2023 to release it, I wouldn't complain. I would much rather this comes out how New Man's Sky is currently than release the scope of what they could do in the state that No Man's Sky released.
Yeah.
So if they need to take another year and a half to produce it, fire in. I can wait for a game that's this ambitious to take that long to come out.
One thing I was watching as the more they were on about the 1,000 planets and all this hub worlds and different places and quests and stuff, and then base building and ship combat and stuff, I was like, it's almost calling out for co-op or multiplayer, but they didn't even mention anything like that, did they? I don't know if they mentioned it.
I'm not sure how they could bother
it won't work, but it almost
now.
Seems like because you're going through all the effort of creating stuff and building the ships and bases and all this sort of stuff, and it's almost like, well, you're just doing it for yourself, which is fine, I suppose. But it's almost like you want to invite your friends over. Come look at my base I built here, or come stop at my base on your way to your next mission or something like that, like almost like Destiny, like world event type thing.
The only way I could see co-op working is if you were like a lackey rather than just a main protagonist joining other people's kind of adventures. If you're like one part of the crew or something.
The only way that I would want co-op to have any sort of bearing on this is like the look at the skill trees, the fact that you had, so it almost goes back to the old Fallout skill. So you obviously had, like, I'm thinking New Vegas, you had special skills, so you're just your basic, what determines your character, and then you had perks after that, so like your lead belly and stuff like that, just random ones that you could add in after. And obviously they went back to it in this, and you can have your special, and then you've got your tiers underneath it that you can have certain perks to. So say you became like an electronics specialist, I could jump into Jay's world and I could upgrade something on his base based on my higher electronics skill. But I can't go and play the level with him, but I can interact with his base, or I can interact with certain things to do with his base, or I can upgrade his spaceship and stuff like that. That would be the only co-op type element I would want to see in this game. For a game of this scope, I don't think you can put a successful co-op version of it together.
Yeah, well, that's kind of what I was getting at, though. Like, not necessarily going out and doing missions together, but like I said, if you're traveling from one planet to another, you stop at the one I'm on and you drop off some resources or fix something, and then you carry on.
You can
like
co-op that
a shared
way.
space rather than...
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but again, they didn't mention it, so that's all speculation and wishful thinking, I think. So I know you said you don't mind if it's delayed. Do you reckon it will be delayed again?
I don't think it will be. I think they'll want to stick to this time frame, but I mean, it depends. It depends why they delayed it.
Because a 6-month delay is not, well, say 4 months delay is not big.
No,
for a game of this.
Which makes, for today. 1,000 planets, it makes me think that they've came across not game-breaking bugs, but they've came across things that people will get pissed off at. Yeah. And I think that's
not
the
enough
stuff.
Cheese wheels.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing. The Fallout 4 when it launched had plenty of bugs, but it wasn't bugs that were to the point where it made the game unplayable. And I think with Bethesda, you always expect to have a game that's full of bugs. As long as they don't break the game and they don't in any way, shape, or form ruin the experience, you're quite happy to just get on it. It was like the first time you ever got hit with a giant in Skyrim and you ended up 3,000 metres in the sky.
Yeah.
It's stuff like that. That obviously wasn't meant to happen. You went, like, a giant's not going to send you that far in the fucking sky. But did it break the game? No. Was it a bug? Yes. Was it funny? Yes. Could we get on with it? Of course.
Fucking hilarious, yeah.
So as long as it's just trying to tidy up little things like this and they've not realised, shit, this game is a fucking mess, we are screwed, then this delay is fine, and coming out the first quarter of 2023 is perfectly acceptable. Especially now that we've seen the scope that they're aiming for as well.
Yeah, I think that was what they really needed to get out there, was what they're actually trying to achieve.
And I think people now seeing that there's 1,000 planets, they've seen the type of planets that you land on. So obviously they've seen Crete, they've seen New Atlantis. Yeah, it's only 2 out of 1,000, but it gives you an idea of what they're aiming for. I think you were saying when they first showed Crete, you could see where you were aiming to go for, but there was massive amounts of potential to explore around it. So if that's what they're aiming for, and not like Gray says, where it's Mass Effect, you drop in the Mako, you cut about from A to B, C, D, and then back to the Normandy. People can take it with a pinch of salt of you've had to delay the game 4 months to make sure your 1,000 planets all look perfect. That's fine.
But we shall see. We shall see whether it rocks up in spring 2023 alongside about 1,000 other games, or if it gets delayed again. But it does look pretty interesting. I've not been especially keen on it up until now, but watching that trailer is definitely up to my hype somewhat. So very quick, we'll sort of wrap up with this chatter here. Going off the list of images they've shown on this trailer that I said about on VGC, does everybody want to pick one game that they're especially looking forward to?
That isn't Starfield.
Well, I mean, I
feel like that's a penalty kick with no goalkeeper.
Let's go with you, Dan. Anything on this list that you're particularly excited for?
Yeah, left field. I am going The Last Case of Benedict Fox. I think that looks very intriguing. I like the gameplay and the mix of kind of platforming, scrolling side to side, and the combat. The combat looked pretty good. That you could, I don't want to say chain, but you could.
Yeah, it was weird. It had like a supernatural element.
Yeah, you could bring someone towards you, then shoot them. As they're drawing in. I enjoyed that. So it's a left field pick for me.
I said to JJ on the show, it was like a darker version of Ori, the way that it transversed up and down, left to right type idea.
Reminded me of old school Prince of Persia.
Oh, well, yeah, that as well, yeah.
Nice. That's a good shout. I think that would be one of my picks. Graham, anything on this list of the ones you've seen at the trailers anyway that sort of takes your fancy particularly?
Yeah, I guess Royale will be something to sort of check out, and the other one, the Battle Royale one that you mentioned, Naraka. Yeah, I think those two will probably be something I'll definitely give a go.
Nice.
Obviously, sort of Starfield just drew too much attention, but definitely I'll give those a go.
Yeah, nice. As for myself, I mean, Redfall's the obvious answer. It looked fucking awesome. But if I had to pick something slightly less obvious, I would probably go for Scorn. Like I said, I really like that sort of disturbed, messed up horror visuals, and yeah, it looked pretty good. And it's coming, that's October 21st, I think it was, which is a good birthday present for you, Gray.
No, what?
Well, oh, Scorn. Anyway.
Oh, right, lovely.
Yes, and Ross, obviously, other than Starfield, is there anything else that particularly stood out? One singular game.
Flintlock probably would be the one I would go for. Like I say, when I seen it, it was very Fable-esque, where you're sort of melee, gun, magic, skeleton, gameplay type idea.
Nice, yeah. So, some decent games shown. I think overall, it probably wasn't the most exciting showcase they could have done. But again, they tried to fit so many different styles of games in that it was never going to be for everybody, and it was never going to be full of, like I said right at the end, no Gears, no new Halo content and stuff like that. But it wasn't really about that. It was about, this is Game Pass, this is the power of Game Pass, best in the gaming, as I say. Chuck big hitters, indie titles, new games, old games, and just bring everything together under your subscription, which they've done. I think they've done pretty well. Really.
Yeah, definitely. Like I say, the 20 minutes in Game Pass on cloud, you should definitely, if you've got the means to do it, you'd be stupid not to, because you will find some gems in there, and you will discover the full value of what Game Pass offers you.
Exactly, yeah. For what, 15 quid a month?
Yeah, even if it's PC, there's plenty of PC games out there that you'll find that you'll get engrossed in because of it.
Yeah, and there's like 43 games, like I said there. You've already got 600 odd games already in it that are fucking brilliant, most of them. Yeah. So, yeah, it only gets better.
And am I right in saying that every first party game from Microsoft will go cloud as well?
Yeah.
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, they're all cloud-based.
And cloud, yeah. So, so lots of decent stuff there. We'll see. They've got an extended showcase. When was it? The 14th?
14th. I don't know what Dan's plan is, but I think we'll be covering. Well, I'll be covering it, seeing as Dan's fucking useless.
Whoa!
I'm out.
Whoa!
Sorry.
Whoa! Yeah. What time is it? Have they said? Because
I'd imagine it'll be similar sort of time.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll be working, I'm afraid. But yeah, so hopefully we'll see some more stuff from there. I was a bit disappointed not to see anything from Machine Games. I kind of hoped a new Quake or even information. Was it Indiana Jones or something? But...
Yeah, I think the biggest one that I was disappointed that it didn't have was Avowed. I was really hoping they were going to see something more about that, or Fable or Avowed. Those two were the ones that I was really hoping to hear about.
But you may hear that in the next show because they've said whatever was shown in this showcase
was stuff that was already announced, or stuff that
shouldn't be in next or Tuesday. Tuesday or Wednesday.
Basically, I think the only thing they'll really cross over is they'll probably mention Starfield, they'll probably mention Redfall, and they might touch on Kojima. But
other than that, I think should be all new stuff.
Yeah, which
and this one was in the next 12 months, I suppose. The next one. Could
if you look at
beyond.
if you look at it, everything that was announced, with the exception of Kojima, and did they mention anything to do with the Persona timeline? They said that 5 was going to be the first one, but did they actually say
5 is in October, and then the other 2 are next year, spring 2023. Don't you know?
Oh, I didn't realise there was any games coming out then. So, like you say, with the exception of one announcement, which is the Kojima one, they had pretty much focused on the start of next year, and that's it. So, big games like Gears, Fable, new Elder Scrolls, new Fallout, they have the potential to be announced at this next one because they might focus on the future. Not saying that's going to come, but they might be. These are the games that are going to be holiday 2023.
Yeah. So we shall see. That will be on Tuesday. So Ross will keep us updated on that, and then once I get off work, I'll catch up and watch the trailers and we'll go from there. Maybe there'll be something up on XboxTavern.com. Ross, why don't you tell us about XboxTavern.com?
How about I tell you about XboxTavern.com? If you want to find out about our product reviews, our gameplay reviews, I think Gray did one that Special Guest Pete, sorry, I keep getting mixed up, done one that was very interesting for myself in regards to The Quarry. I think that went up this week, which he gave a rave review 9.2, I think it was.
I believe so, yes.
So that had my ears pricked up, and I think me and him came to a consensus that the only downside of it really was it was super fucking expensive.
Yes.
Find all our reviews up there. Find Dan's little tidbits that he puts up there as well. Patreon.com/Xbox Tavern. I'm sure Dan will have some of his OnlyFans content up there before the end of the month.
Put them legs away.
Sexy shorts that you just gave a little bit there, just a little bit. Just a tease. That's what you get for the free show.
Just a tip.
Just the tip and maybe more. Sorry.
Well, there isn't much more. That's the problem, Dan. It's just the tip. Shout out to our superstar supporter tier, which is Beth. So thank you very much for your support, Beth. Since I got chinned for this at the start of the show, I'll keep it to 1. We have a new merch store on Spreadshirt. So we have one design, and once the lovely people at Spreadshirt get back to me in regards to other designs, we will have 5 new designs in total. So there is currently the lovely Xbox Tavern's black microphone type idea. That is up with anything from t-shirts, hoodies, face masks, bags, cups, stickers, coasters, aprons, beanies.
Yes, that's what I was waiting for. Right,
there is pretty much anything. There's baby grows and everything. There's even dog bandanas and teddy bears. So that's up on Spreadshirt just now. And like I say, more designs on their way. Apple Podcasts and Spotify Podcasts, 5 stars on Apple, please. Gets us more exposure. More exposure gets us more fans. More fans gets us to grow. Grow gets us content. Content gets us better presentation to see our lovely faces every Sunday on youtube.com/Xbox Tavern Official. That's how you do a segue, Jay.
Missed the best part, though. You missed the best part.
What did I miss? I'm not done there. I'm not done. Spotify podcasts, we will have polls and questions that we put up every week. It'll probably be about the showcase this week, about games that you're most looking forward to. If you could follow those in and give us your feedback, it's just another way to get in contact with ourselves and keep us knowing what the masses want to hear. And social media, Daniel, our master social media expert, will be on top of these with your Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, LinkedIn, Tumblr, Reddit, OnlyFans, Patreon, whatever it may be. At Chocolate Berry, he'll be able to hook you up on any of them. And our Discord as well. Our Discord link's in the show notes. Jump in there. We've got a few different channels, few different things. Get in touch with the hosts, different folk from the the website. Got any questions that they might have put up for the reviews, drop a wee question in there or their Twitter. Best place to get a hold of us.
Nice. Thank you very much. Plugged away. I feel
You feel
fully
properly plugged. Good.
I feel plugged like a
Sink.
yeah. Oh, right, I've ruined it now. Right, let's get back into the flow of the show, shall we? So now we're going to get into our topic question thingy doodad of the week, which is, as it has been for the last few weeks, Xbox Game of the Years throughout the years. So we've been picking the Game of the Year since the very first Xbox. And this week is 2006. So games come out in 2006. Some pretty good ones, I think.
Just there was one or two, not that many.
Looking at this list, a couple of decent ones. Graham, we've kind of, I'm, as I said before we started, I kind of hopped on your bandwagon here. So please tell me your favourite game of the year for 2006.
There are a couple of bangers that I enjoyed myself anyway. The first one definitely has to be Skyrim. No, was it Oblivion even? Sorry. Oblivion. Yeah, the precursor. You couldn't have Skyrim without having Oblivion. And Oblivion was it probably the one that made me sort of really get into the Elder Scrolls, because I could not get into Morrowind before that, and Daggerfall had even less chance. So Oblivion definitely was the one that sort of got me into it. And although the cheesy acting, I think it was Patrick Stewart, I think was it at the start or something. Sean Bean was as well.
Take it that character died pretty quickly.
Yeah, no, not as quickly as Patrick Stewart's. The hero of Kovac. But yeah, that was an amazing game, and yeah, definitely set the scene for the rest of them going forwards, and yeah, it was massive.
Yeah, I remember before you move on to the next one. Sorry, as I said, I'm going to piggyback on your picks because we basically use the same ones. I remember walking out of, because obviously you start in the dungeons and you fight your way through and fight the rats and all that shit, and you walk out into the open world. And I remember walking through. It's the first game I ever really played like that, and walked out and I was like, "Oh fuck!" There's a lot of things.
What the fuck did I do?
That's a big world. Okay, right. Let me just pick. I'll go this way, and I end up in what's the fucking town's name? I forget now. But I got to this town, and I literally spent 20 hours there just chatting to the people, doing quests and exploring the village. And it was only one little tiny corner of the map. And then I went out and I explored further beyond and found, the white, is it White City, with the
White
big
City,
tower in
yeah.
it, and all the other cities around and the dungeons and the Oblivion Gate. I was absolutely blown away. I absolutely loved it, and I played it mostly on I think it was a 14-inch CRT. Which was not the best way to play it.
No,
because
it's not the best way to do anything.
I took my Xbox to work with me, and that was the TV that was in the break room. So I sat there and played it on my lunch breaks. And then the DLC, the Shivering Isles, was fucking tremendous.
So that actually traumatized me, like the first time trying to play Oblivion, and I jumped on it, done the dungeon, came out, got to the city, and went, fuck.
Yeah.
Turned it off. And then I went and played Skyrim once I was a more mature gamer. Played Skyrim, realised what the whole Elder Scrolls games were around, went back to Oblivion, and it was like, the fuck did I ever pass this up the first time? It was one of those, really such a good game. But like I say, it came out far too soon for my tiny little incomplete gaming brain.
I just loved the way you just explore, and there'd be people going about their business, and you get into fights with people or meet merchants or meet NPCs that give you quests, and then you'd go around the corner and there'd be a whole other suite of things to find and talk to and explore, and then there'd be a big dungeon, and there'd be like the elven ruins, the fucking dwarven ruins, all this. It was madness, absolute madness.
I do think that's one thing that the Elder Scrolls series nails on, like spot on, is the way that they do lore and things like that. I mean, it's like reading about like it's more pertinent for like Skyrim because I've done a lot more hours in Skyrim. But like you go in and you read about all the different names that all the different elven races, not the elven races, the dwarven races have, like it's elven, Falmar and things like that, and your Dwemer and things like that. Yeah. So you've got all of that, and it tells you the backstory of all of them, and then you've got all your different Daedric gods and what they are the gods of, and what their feats and things like that they've done for, like I said, where their different loyalties lie, or what races have different loyalties to them and things like that. It's just the lore that they put into the Skyrim game, or the Elder Scrolls game, is fantastic. It's something you can really sink your teeth into and get into. It's one of these things like Warhammer, where you've got just infinite amount of stories that you can get into if you really want to, or play it just as a standard A to Z or A to B type game.
Yeah, I love just exploring people's houses and picking up books and just reading.
Exactly.
And each book's got like 20, 30 pages. You read it. Okay, yeah, it's cool. And then 10 hours later, you'll find a book in a different house. It'll be chapter 2, and
fantastic.
It fills in all the details. And yeah, I adored that game. I kind of broke it by exploiting some of the systems. I ended up getting a shield and a ring and an armor, which effectively, if an enemy hit me, they did 120% damage back to themselves. So I became invincible.
Aha!
And they were just killing themselves by hitting me, so it kind of ruined it in that aspect. But the rest of it was awesome. Anyway, Graham, so we kind of got sidetracked waffling about
that's
how,
it was only because
how
I had
amazing
three. I
it
didn't
is.
want to sort of drivel into too much because obviously I mentioned two others.
Yeah.
One being Dead Rising. I mean, that's like the first sort of game where you sort of saw mass zombies or so many kind of bodies on one screen at a time, and sort of without huge chugging on the machine. It did have hella loading times going into different areas, but you kind of saw why, because there was so much going on in the mall that you were in,
and cleaving through those zombies with the swords and the weapons and stuff, everything falling apart, and yeah, that was mad.
Just some of the weapons you can make as well.
It's just surreal, yeah.
It's just
fucking
fucking
things
brilliant.
on people's heads. It's just, yeah. It missed the horror of the zombies, the sheer bizarreness of sticking things on people's heads, or just playing with the zombies with different weapons and
taking the pictures and getting a picture of like one of the zombies in a miniskirt, and it comes up erotic. He goes, "Ooh, nice."
Wasn't that one of the first games as well that played with time as well?
Yeah.
Oh, I hated that, man. I
that was
fucking
hard.
hated that.
But
So
it made you choose
constrained.
what path you had to go because you couldn't save everybody because you were time constrained. Which was a great way of giving.
That was the only thing about the Dead Rising games that I couldn't get into, because was it I can't remember. Was it the second one where it was like the little girl had to get like an injection every so often? Yeah. Was it the second one?
I think it's the first.
Yeah, no, the second one, yeah.
The second one. And it was like, so that obviously was based on time. Like you couldn't do too much or you wouldn't get back in time to give her. And it was like that. I just wanted to fucking go and do everything. I wanted to go in it every. It's like the film. What's the film? The film that they're in a shopping mall. Dawn of the Dead.
Or Dawn of the Dead.
Dawn of the Dead. So they're based in a shopping mall, and they go into like the sports shops and they get all their weapons and stuff like that. And then like, I just wanted to do that. I just wanted to go around every shop and like see what there was, grab shit that I need, craft whatever I want, go out and take stupid fucking photos, and I don't have to rush back to a certain place to go and do X, Y, and Z. In hindsight, it was a great system and it worked really well.
That's why I liked it so much, because it was like Dan said, like you'd go out and like, right, I've got to rescue this person, but if I do that, then chances are I'm not going to get back to this person. But if I play my cards right, I might be able to get there and get there. But then when you get to the second person, then all of a sudden the third person pops over, like, right, well I can't do you as well, so I'm gonna have to come
you're
back.
You're gonna fuck off.
I'm gonna have to try and wangle it, and and then the repeat plays. Sorry, Greg, again, kind of hijacked you. The repeat plays. So the first time you got 3 days, and then you play again, and if you do well enough, you get 7 days, and then if you play again, you get well enough, and you get the final boss. And yeah, the first one is still my favorite. We can get into 2 when it comes up in the years, but I didn't like that one quite so much. But what did you get the Chivo, Gray, for killing the amount of zombies?
There's so many.
I
I can't remember. I just remember because you get a vehicle outside that you just kind of span around in and just murdered them all.
Yeah, going in like the underground tunnel, just driving through them as fast as you can, and go
Plowing
back
through.
Yeah, yeah, it was mad, and it was wacky, like you said. Was there any particular weapon that sort of stood out to you, or any particular item, I should say, really, rather than weapon?
Yeah, so he mixed the smoothies together. I think one of them gave you sort of zombie breath or something, like fire breath or something like that.
I remember that. Yeah.
It's usually that or the Mega Man kind of gun or punt glove thing that gave you a little bit of a fire blast.
Was there not one that was like a fuck? Was it like a strimmer? And it had like a saw blade on the end of it, and it was like you just mowed through them like that.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
That was like something like that. Yeah.
He just runs forwards into it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a great game because they obviously re-released it for Xbox One, which I haven't played that version, but I think that must clean up some of the frame rate issues and stuff that it did have in the loading and that because
the text.
It was a bit awkward.
But
the text was tiny, yeah.
Oh, a tiny text, especially on a CRT TV as well.
Like a game that old with that amount of zombies, you were obviously going to expect it to struggle.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it was a fantastic game. Definitely my favourite one in the series. But again, we'll get to that later down the line. Graham, have you got one other pick I see on the list here?
That's fine. I'll leave it to the others because I'll give them a chance to say their games.
Okay, well, that's very noble of you. Daniel.
Yes.
Tell me about a game that you might have possibly played in 2006.
I've unfortunately.
Are you actually like going to be able to play games for Xbox now, Dan?
There's not FIFA and it's not.
Well, no, I've picked
Bravo.
2 games that I was really happy with. So I have got Rainbow Six Vegas.
Oh, see, I was going to put it, and then I seen you put it. I was like, fair plays. Dan's finally contributing.
Well, yeah, and I don't know what made me pick this game up, but picked it up, and I think it was one of the first experiences of using the headset and trying to cooperatively, kind of fight another team, and not that Call of Duty.
Yeah,
like Call of Duty was great and all, but you got to Rainbow Six, all of a sudden, kind of that multiplayer team attack stepped up a notch, and then you had the chance of kind of propelling down, going into rooms,
cameras under doors, satchel charge on the door at the other side of the room,
which at the time was all like brand new. I think there was flashbangs as well. Sorting out your weapon loadouts. My God, the hours I spent playing this game and not doing very well was quite a lot, but it was really, really enjoyable.
I don't think you need to specify they're not doing very well, Dan. That's just par for the course.
Well, no, back then I had some skills, not a lot, but I had some. And another one is obviously I've got to put it down Gears of War.
What happened in that game again? You should remember.
That
was 2.
No, that was 1, wasn't it?
No, that was 2.
Was that 2?
No, the Mad World trailer was number 1. That was the original trailer.
I'm sure that original trailer was what? Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Ross, look it up. Right, Daniel, tell us all about Gears of War.
Anyway,
how
Gears
awesome
of War.
Marcus and Dom are.
The friendship, the locust, the watching these weird guys who looked like frigging massive rectangles, kind of running and then covering over the wall, and the
roadie run was awesome.
Yeah. And then you'd like shit, jump over. Just brilliant. And then I remember playing it with my friend, going through on. I don't think we ever managed to get the hardest difficulty, but you go up a notch and you're like, oh my God, this is fucking hard. Just memories of Gears of War playing that in my youth is
the big beefy meaty men and like chainsawing the fucking locust in half and it's exploding into
and watching them. And then back then, I mean, when you saw it back then, you were like, oh, these graphics are amazing. Go back now and you're like, ooh, those are bad. Bits of like square falling off them. But yeah, loved Gears of War.
Mad World tags was used in a teaser trailer for 1 and for 3.
There we go. And I remember the advert because he was hiding behind
a tree.
He ran across, hid in a car park, and there was a Brumac?
The big Brumac.
Brumac came through, and then you could see like the penny drop, and he was like, "Shit, it's about to go," and he comes out and just fucking fires.
The song that I was thinking of was, and for the life of me, I can't remember what the name it was now. How It Ends was what I was thinking of for Gears of War 2, and that's when he's sitting at the tree cleaning his Lancer and things like that.
No, I don't know.
And the Mad World was the bit that came from Dom's death. Not,
Whoa!
not-
Whoa! Whoa!
If you've not
Spoilers.
played Gears 3 by now, you need to be shot, hung, drawn, and quartered. Yeah, it
There might
wasn't
be a
from.
special edition coming out.
Well, there is, but still, you should fucking
Master-
have played it by now. But yeah,
Marcus
If anything,
Phoenix
that's an
Collection.
encouragement. That guy biting the dust will get more people to play it.
Do you reckon if him and Kenny teamed up, that'd be the ultimate game?
wait, why am I hearing any sort of hate towards Dom?
Gray's not a big fan, but
Dom was fucking awesome.
he's no fucking Coltrane, though, is he?
Coltrane, baby!
Yes. Coltrane, all your favourite that dies every time. J Carbine.
Yeah, Carbine.
Carbine, man. Well, what one?
Carmine, sorry. Carmine.
What one?
Carmine, yeah.
Carmine.
Doesn't matter.
one-
They're all J's because the amount that time they go down every time.
Yeah. See, I like Benjamin, just because I like that name, Benjamin. But
Benjamin.
yeah, anyway, right.
I'm going to come up with
Baird's
the
pretty cool as
I was
well.
going to say I was going to come up with the controversy and say I actually quite like Baird. Baird's quite fun.
He's interesting. Not so much in Gears 5. I wasn't a big fan of him there. But
Well, he's scientist mode, isn't he?
yeah.
Although he does make big ass fucking transformer robots.
he does, and lots of cool weaponry. But Gears was a fantastic shout, Daniel, as is Rainbow Six and Oblivion and Dead Rising. However, Ross, tell us yours because I've done mine.
So I was going to put Rainbow Six.
As he stuffs his face full of
Damn it.
fucking
Yeah, perfect timing.
Yeah.
I didn't know he was going to come up with
and
Rainbow Six.
Edinburgh.
So I was going to put Rainbow Six Vegas, and then I seen Dan had it, and then I realised, oh wait a minute, Ian isn't on the show this week. I'm taking his because it is one of my other ones. The best game in the series, Hitman Blood Money. Fucking loved that game. It has one of my favourite levels of all video games ever, and it's the one where you're in Mardi Gras in New Orleans, and it's just you've got to kill the two lovers. I love that mission so fucking much. Murder of Crows, it's called. And it's just Mardi Gras, the whole fucking celebration. You can sneak in through the crowd dressed up in all these different cool outfits. Love this game as well, especially with the like alternative ending type idea, which, if you don't know about, the game's how old now? 20 years old almost, 16 years.
I mean, yeah, none of us are going to play it, so carry on, sir.
So you've got the bit where Agent 47 dies.
Fucking hell, you don't realize you're going to go that far? Jeez.
And you're lying there, dressed in your nice white suit as you've been killed, stabbed in the back by your agency, and you
Always
think,
the way.
what the fuck? And you're lying there, you've got your silver ballers, and you're lying there, dressed in your white suit, and the credits are rolling up on the screen, and you think, fucking hell, what the fuck? And then you start rattling the right analog stick, and you realise your heart rate starts kicking in, starts creeping up, and then you sit up.
Zombie Agent 47.
Fucking silver ballers galore, wiping out everybody that's at this funeral, all these people that have betrayed you and stabbed you in the back. Trying to remember what it's called. Is Requiem? I think it's something. So is it Requiem of a Dream, or is it just Requiem? I can't remember. Basically, same idea. Like you come back and that's your last mission. It's not even a mission. You just wake up having been killed
Shoot the shit.
and just go fucking, fucking laying out people left, right, and centre. But no, great game. You've got ones where you've got like fighting drug cartels. There's one on the Mississippi. Even the training mission at the start's fantastic. I'm trying to think of the other ones that I've got. I know you've got the drug cartel that you've got to do in a villa. Oh, there's one where you're in like a suburban area as well. So you're like just in a normal everyday suburban area. You've got surveillance vans and stuff like that. Brilliant game. I think Ian had touched on it when he was saying in the show notes, like it's a game where it's not impossible to complete it as Silent Assassin. So that gives you that nice, it's got a nice balance of you have to play it a certain way to get it, but it's not to the point where it's like, unless you're a proper hardcore stealth fan, you're never going to be able to do it. It doesn't look the best. It's not the best looking game of all time, but it's certainly, to me, and I don't know if Ian would agree based on the fact that he picked it, it's my favourite Hitman game of the whole series.
Even
the new ones.
The newer ones,
Yeah.
because it's the only one I've played most of, and I didn't like it very much.
No, I see.
But then I haven't really played any of the others, so
It's just no. I loved Blood Money. It got me into the series, and it's just everything about it. Just the level design. There's another one as well, and I'm sure this is the same one where you have. It's quite a cool thing. You can basically get in a pool and put like a sticky grenade on the bottom of the pool. Wait for your target to go into the pool. You can stand below the pool but to the side, so you're not obviously going to get crushed. Detonate it, and like he just fucking plummets out this fucking hot tub, through all the way right down, crashes onto rocks in the bay below, and you're like, dick. But yeah, it's just best one that they've done, and they need to do an upspuff and re-release it, or at least the next Hitman brings some of the levels back with the same type of targets and stuff like that.
just add it into the world of assassination.
Yeah,
as they would do with it. Nice. Well, some decent games again. We definitely skipped over a few, but
there was.
in terms of
2006 had a big list of games that we could have sort of went through.
Yeah, but I think some decent shouts there. So next week we'll do 2007. If you'd like to tell us your picks of 2006 or 2007, then hit us up at Xbox Tavern on Twitter, or go to the Spotify and fill in the poll.
Just scroll down.
Yep, I'll be at the bottom of that there. Has anybody looked at some of the games for 2007 yet?
No, I'm not even attempting it just right now.
Yeah.
Oh, that's going to cause some debates.
Yeah, well, we're getting into 2007, 2008 is the years where there was some fucking bangers,
Oh.
but we will get to that next week and the week beyond.
Well, not next week we won't.
Well, yeah, I suppose next week we're a bit short-staffed.
Well, we'll address that closer to the time.
Yes. However, let's get into games we are playing in the current day, back in space year 2022. Obviously, our Project Game Pass game, which is a game sequence segment, whatever way you do, where we pick a game from Game Pass every month, we play it and we discuss it. This month we've chosen Sniper Elite 5, which I haven't actually played any more since I spoke about it last week. Has anybody else checked out any more yet?
That's in my games of the week.
Touch.
I'll save it for the games of the week for what I've played, but
Cool.
so far,
Nice. Daniel, have you played any more yet?
So, no, I'm going to be jumping into it this week. I've done a video coming up soon of my dreadful gameplay.
I'm sure you've got some nice nut shots in there.
I feel like you're not selling it to people with your terrible gameplay.
Absolutely shocking.
Well, Ross, while we're here, we're talking about it. Why don't we go into the games we are playing this week and lead off with Sniper Elite 5?
So I have been playing the Sniper Elite 5 as a co-op. So you.
Oh, this is your friend on the dirty PlayStation. By the way, if you can get me a PlayStation, anyone who's listening, or any of you guys, please let me know, because Last of Us I want to play it.
So I have been playing it in that, and I've also just realised that I've fucked up the borders for it, but it was fine. Everybody knows who everybody is. Been playing through its co-op, played the first 2.5 levels of it. Levels are long as fuck. If you want to do it properly, the levels are really long, which is not a bad
Ian
thing.
was saying, wasn't it?
Well, the thing is, like, so the way that me and my mate like playing these games is we like doing all the collectibles. Same with gears and things like that. We tend to try and grab like all the cog tags and stuff like that. So we got all the stone eagles, the love letters, the collectibles from this there. So doing it like that takes quite a bit of time to get through. As I was saying to Ian when I was saying before I'd played it, based just on the trailers that I'd seen, I feel like they could do more in regards to the X-ray vision. Some of the footage that they do for the X-rays and the shots just feels very repetitive. It feels like it was the same as last year, and I feel like, as I was saying when I was saying to Ian, you see what Mortal Kombat are doing with the X-ray type mode and the damage that it does. I feel like they could do a lot more with it. Still, like, impressive to see, like, when you go through the eye or the liver or a lung shot and things like that. It's cool to see, especially when you're playing co-op and it's actually shit a brick moments, because you could be like lining up a shot thinking, right, I've got this, and all of a sudden, because you're playing co-op, it cuts to a cutscene of somebody else doing a snipe. So you're expecting to pull the shot off, and next thing you know, it's like, fuck, what the hell happened there? I didn't pull the trigger. But no, really beautiful looking game. Story's ramping up a wee bit. I like how I haven't came across the same thing that Ian had though. Ian was saying that when one person got detected, they knew where the other person was, and I don't know if it's because I play it considerably differently to Ian. Me and my mate that I'm playing it with, we kind of go like that near the start. So the first map, for example, you're near a beach, and then the other part of it's in a town. So I went up through the town, and he went down by the beach. And there was a couple of times he got detected, but it didn't alert people to where I was. So I'm presuming it must be like a proximity type thing with what Ian was saying. He'll be able to fill us in the next time he's on. But I never had the same thing that he had, where if one person got seen, the other person got they knew their location regardless. But no, so far really enjoying it. Beautiful looking game. Storyline, like I say, ramping up. The DLC we haven't done yet, but we plan to, with obviously the same as what they've done on nearly all Sniper Elites with the Kill Hitler. I feel like they've went a bit more tongue-in-cheek with that. Some of the elements of it are a bit more comedic. So it's it's shaping up to be a pretty good game. If it keeps trending the same way it's been in regards to how much fun it is so far, it'll probably make top 5 game of the year. Not challenging best game of the year, but it'll probably make the top 5.
Nice. Well, you've been playing it in co-op with your friend. Have you played any on your own, or just solely co-op?
Just solely co-op just now, yeah. I probably will go back in. It's tricky because we're doing all the collectibles and things like that, and we're trying to do like every objective of every map. It doesn't leave a lot of co-op. It doesn't leave a lot of single player type incentive to go back to. One thing that we did have though that I've not heard. Ian did mention it was the I can't remember what they're called, the ghost sniper or whatever it is. So basically the person invading your game.
The invasion,
yeah. So that was quite a cool wee feature. Not something that you ideally want if you're just like trying to play it like what we're playing and try and get all the collectibles and stuff like that. But still quite a cool wee element. And then there is obviously there's a horde mode type idea where you're just fighting waves and waves of enemies.
Yeah.
That we'll probably jump into, and then there's a standard campaign, a standard versus mode type idea, where you can set up a map and it's you versus your mate or you versus numerous other people as well. So there's quite a selection of different playthroughs to play through. But in regards to solely single player, I don't know if I could go back to it because the way that I'm playing it, there doesn't leave a lot to still do.
You're kind of doing everything as you go, kind of thing. Yeah, that's fair enough. Great. You said you've been playing Sniper Elite 5, so should we get your thoughts on it before we move on to Ross's other game?
Yeah, and I've dabbled furthermore than kind of an hour into it. I've got off the beach part and I've taken up met my contact and just done a bit more after that. So I'm really kind of early in. But I know what Ross means about when you do the bullet cam hitting the enemy, it's not as detailed or gruesome as they could have made it. So if you see it sort of hit them and go through the brain and stuff like that, but it's like you see this, as in saying, of Mortal Kombat, it's way more gruesome in what they're doing. So it's, if you're going to go the whole hog and do this slow-mo and impact kind of thing, they could probably sort of grim it up a little bit more if they wanted to. But I've also come across the kind of stealth elements to it as well. So it's kind of swinging me one way or the other. Sniping bit's good, stealth bit's. Yeah.
And you've been playing on your own, I'm assuming.
Yeah. I just wanted to have a quick go, see what it was like, and I was doing a bit of cloud play on it, which wasn't the greatest. It had occasional sort of scan lines coming down it every now and then when I was kind of playing through it, but it wasn't too bad. It ran okay, and yeah, not too bad. I think I'll play a bit more of it.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, as always, I'm always up for some co-op. You know me.
Yeah.
If you're around, hit me up. Ross, what else have you been playing this week?
So very quickly, jumped into some more Assassin's Creed just simply because, like I was saying, it's dropped in a Game Pass now, and they've obviously done the 4K 60 update.
Yeah.
So Jumped in and done all the things like the Hidden Ones DLC and the new one where it's I forgot the name, Curse of the Pharaohs I think is what the other DLC is called, which following on with most of the new Assassin's Creed games is more like your supernatural element. So I think in like Odyssey you had things like fighting Medusa and the Centaur and things like that, and then in the new one you've got obviously the Dawn of Ragnarok DLC and Odin and Thor and stuff like that. So this one obviously takes you back to the Pharaohs where you've got to fight you've got like things to do with Anubis, Nefertiti, Sobek, Sekhmet, things like that. You've got all these different gods of the pantheon of Egypt and stuff like that. So really enjoying it. It was a beautiful game when it was first released. Having this 4K 60 is just making it even nicer. I never completed this the first time I played it round because I couldn't get behind Bayek, and I can now see why people like him as much as he does. He's very cavalier. He's quite tongue in cheek. Probably top 3 favourite assassins. Obviously nobody's going to displace Ezio, but he's quite a cool character, quite funny, quite a laid back look on life. So that's, I haven't heard a wee bit more of him. It's definitely made the playthrough a wee bit nicer.
Nice. And so that is now on Game Pass, is that right?
It is, yes. That came out in the the 6th, 7th. Sorry, I thought it was the 6th.
Yeah. So go check it out. Game Pass, best in game. I don't know.
I mean, it's like it's an 80. Oh, with the DLC, 80, 90 hour game that's built in. Like, obviously, not everybody. I can see Dan rolling his eyes already. Not everybody wants to play a 90-hour game.
Not
but
1,000 planets.
For the fact that it's built into your Game Pass subscription, it's. I mean, you can't argue with the value for money. It's It's £100 worth of gaming content for your price of your normal subscription that you buy because you want to get gears.
No, totally worth it.
Damn right. Right. Thank you very much, Ross. Daniel, let's go to you before we swing back round to Graham.
I'm playing a little title that dropped in Game Pass in around the same, of course, same time as Assassin's Creed, Disc Room. So the premise of the game is you've got to go through your, I want to say laboratories, essentially. You need to go through these rooms and you've got spinning saws or discs that are there to kill you. The idea is you've got like objectives down the left-hand side of your screen. It tells you have to either survive 5 seconds, 10 seconds. And as the saws are there, they kind of bounce off the room, or there will be, they'll split in two, and then there's other things where the disc will kind of like zoom across the room and get you. So it'll like spin normally and then just like ping. It's a really easy pick up and play, enjoyable. It's got the Devolver Digital kind of darkish humor where as the saw gets you, there's blood splurted everywhere and you're chopped in half. Yeah. It's got leaderboards, so that there is quite a bit of replayability in a game, but you can literally last 5-10 seconds and feel like you've achieved something for once in every man's life. But it's really, really enjoyable. I'm really having fun. And it's not Disco Room, it's Disc Room, just to make it clear for everybody.
Yeah, nice. So watching that trailer there, that looks like something that I'm quite interested in, actually. I've never really heard of it before, but good work, Daniel, on picking that one up. Because
well played, sir, well played.
And you can just pick it up and play. I was looking for a new kind of pick up and put down game. When you've got that 10 minutes kind of void to fill, this is the perfect game to do that.
Anytime I can feel like I've achieved something after 30 seconds, I'm game. I'm happy with
it. Even 10 seconds.
Said about that. Right.
Jay, put those pins away. We've already got an Only Dan's page. We don't need an Only Jay's page. God, you money makers.
Ladies, gentlemen. Right, Graham. Sniper Elite, you've played. What else have you been playing?
I've dabbled, and to be fair, I haven't dabbled in anything new. I've actually been sort of progressing further with my 2 review titles, which I need to write up, which I'll be getting onto tomorrow. And I've actually finished Deadcraft now, and I completely RTS'd it, where I sort of built up, and then when it came to fighting the end boss, I just completely sliced through. So yeah, there's a lot of, like I said, the previous ones, there's a lot of things to craft, a lot of different side missions and things to do. And you can sort of build up to sort of the best weapons of the game, but you fight the end boss with those kind of weapons, and it just becomes a tad bit too easy.
Yeah, you way overpowered yourself basically.
But it's almost like the game set you up to do that. It's kind of like you get to different areas, and then it gets you access to the new tiers of stuff. And then I got all the new tiers of stuff, but once I got all that bit, it sort of, with my super zombie powers, it just got to the end boss, and then kind of carved through. I saved up so many machine gun bullets, and then I barely used a fifth of them to kill him. And it just made it sort of super easy. So
is there anything to do beyond the end boss? Like,
you
like
carry on. There's all the other side quest bits to do, and there's a bit to try and sort of upgrade your home to like the biggest one, and you have to get like 1 million kind of the currency, and I'm only like 100,000. So I don't know why you would need that right towards the end of the game. You're already as powerful as you're going to be. So building up your base is just kind of like for the achievement, and that's kind of what you do it for. But yeah, it's a good game. I enjoyed that. Well worth a playthrough on that one. And the other game, the Vampire the Masquerade Swan Song, that is got slightly better when I finally got a bit further in. There was some sort of puzzles to do. Not massively difficult puzzles, but at least it's something that happens in the game that's not just dialogue choices. And it kind of gives you a little bit of a kick in the teeth after you've done a certain area, because you have no idea what the hell you're doing. You're just guessing your way around it, doing some of the puzzles, and then once you get to the end of the area, it goes, you found this, you could have done this, and you didn't collect these. And I was like, oh, well, how good or bad is that? You just don't know. It's kind of like, it doesn't say these are all the things you need to do in this kind of level. If you don't, then you kind of miss out on it. It just doesn't tell you what you can and can't find until you've gone too far. So that's a tiny bit annoying. I guess it just means it's your experience. If you don't do it, then that's it. You've missed it. You don't get a chance to fix that bit.
No way of going back to sort of replay missions or anything.
Yeah, but the story is so far-fetched. It's hard to get a grasp of still what the hell is going on. I'm still further on, and I'm still none the wiser of. It's like a weird aristocratic vampires with their own. Everyone's got their own interests and don't like each other, and it's just it's quite. I don't know if the previous games kind of build up that lore first, so you understand a bit better. But going in blind isn't the easiest.
The thing is, see, watching the trailer. So the trailer doesn't give any gameplay away. It literally is just a cinematic. The game looks fucking incredible. Like, everything that you see in the trailer looks amazing. And then just from what you've said, it's like,
It sounds like it's more dialogue choice the game rather than action, like fighting combat something.
Yeah, it is. And like after doing the little mini puzzles or finding things, you get experience points to enhance your dialogue capabilities or your searching capabilities. As like the better searcher you are, the better more evidence and materials you can find which help you in your dialogue choices, or you can increase your dialogue skills. So when you're having conversations, you can win the top trump version of the dialogue choice. So he's this good at that conversation, you're that good, and then you can beat them in the conversation and obviously progress the story in certain bits that you have to win 2 out of the 4 conversational bits to progress. So it's such a weird way of doing it. That bit's kind of interesting, but yeah, it's very, very slow paced, and the puzzles were a bit meh-ish.
Fair enough. Well, hopefully we'll get to read your words upon these video games on xboxtavern.com very soon. Yes. Cool. Thank you very much. I suppose it's my turn now, isn't it? Other than the bog standard Fortnite and etc. that I've been playing, the main one I'm playing this week is a game called Janitor Bleeds, which is a first-person low-poly horror game set in an arcade. You sort of start and you're in a car crash, and then you exit your car, you walk around, and you find this arcade which appears to be abandoned. And the only game that works in it is a game called Janitor. and you find it, you just play it, and the idea is you play this little, it's almost like an Atari, like real early video game. So you just walk around single screens and you move between a couple of screens and you clean up puddles of water. But what happens in the arcade game affects what happens in the actual arcade. So you'll clean up a bit of mess and it will open up a new pathway, or you'll open a door and the door behind you will open or something like that. And the idea is this janitor game is kind of possessed, and it's possessed by this demon that follows you around the real life arcade. And so every time you open a door or clear an area, that then gives them more reason to come chase you. And I quite enjoyed it. It's only about 2 hours long at a push, and that was mainly because I got stuck at one point and I was going around in circles for ages until I eventually figured out that I was going the wrong way. But it's very clever how that when you interact with the arcade machine itself, it sort of says main hall or rooftop or wherever you are, and your sort of view is sort of really close up fixed on the arcade cabinet, but you've just got enough either side to see around you. You can't move the camera, so you can't look around, but you can just about see either side of the cabinet. And as you clear the debris and stuff, you'll see like shadows flash past you, or lights will flicker on and off, or a noise will happen. And so when you come away from the arcade cabinet, it's almost like almost makes you like too scared to turn around, because you're like, what the fuck am I going to find when I turn around? Like, is there going to be a monster there, or is there going to be something scary or whatever? And half the time there isn't, half the time there is. And sometimes you turn around and you're a completely different location, because the way like the possession and stuff of the arcade works. And I really enjoyed it. I thought it did a great job of getting the atmosphere across, even though it looked like a PlayStation 1 game, basically. The way the torch you've got and the design of it all work, it was really effective and made a really creepy atmosphere. And even the monster wasn't necessarily a scary monster. It wasn't like something like Outlast, where it chases you down and fucking rips you limb from limb. But it was still creepy enough to make me like trying to hide in a corner and then wait for it to turn around and try and sprint, and then the music kick in because it saw me and start chasing me, like, run away, and to try and find somewhere to duck and dive and hide away from it. And I won't spoil it because, again, it's quite short, but at the end of the game, you get a particularly cool item, which made me very happy indeed, which is themed around the arcade. And if you know my preference for arcade games, you'll probably be able to guess what kind of item it is.
What, like a light gun from Time Crisis?
Whoa. But yes. I really enjoyed it. And the only main negative I have is I wasn't allowed to invert Y, which is a fucking travesty. So I had to use said light gun with non-inverted controls, which was quite difficult for someone who spent 20 odd years playing inverted. But yeah, no, I really enjoyed it. I think it's well worth checking out. It's like I said, the atmosphere is really good. The story is quite interesting. The gameplay does like some of these games I find they can be quite plodding, or they can put roadblocks in your way where you're like, oh, for fuck's sake, I just want to get past this bit so I can get onto the next section and carry on. Whereas this, I was always making progress. I never ever got proper stuck, apart from, again, when I went the wrong way. But that was my own fault, really. And yeah, it's just really clever and really ingenious in terms of its presentation of horror and low poly aesthetics. And yeah, well worth checking out. Janitor Bleeds. Go check it out. Nice. But yeah, that and many other games I've been playing basically have put me off for horror games for a little while now, because I need to play something a bit happier and a bit chirpier. So any recommendations, that would be wonderful.
Pac-Man.
Yeah. Oh fuck! Oh, no, fuck that! I tried playing Pac-Man Museum. What a pile of shit! What a pile of shit! But we won't get into that right now. Anyway, that's enough waffling for me. That's all the games we've been playing, I think, this week. So thank you very much for listening. We're now going to get into the last segment of the show, which is the Game Pass and Games with Gold roundup. Yeah. So, Ross, tell me all about things that come into Game Pass.
Well, I'll do you one better. I'll cover the ones that have just came to Game Pass as well. So, we had For Honor Matching Fire Edition on June 1st, console, PC, cloud. Ninja Gaiden Master Collection June 2nd, console and PC. Assassin's Creed Origins June 7th, as informed by the lovely Daniel, console, PC and cloud. Another one that I've been seeing a lot of good news about is Chorus.
Oh yeah,
Not bad.
Yeah, June 7th, console, PC and cloud.
it's like a spaceship fighting game, isn't it?
Yeah.
Disc Room, as Dan's been playing, came out June 7th, console, PC, cloud. Space Lines from the Far Out, June 7th, console and PC. And then games coming out this coming week and the following ones. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge, June 16th on console and PC.
Yes.
Shadowrun Trilogy, 21st of June, console and PC. The game that we were talking about in regards to the showcase earlier, Naraka Blade Point, is coming out June 23rd, console and PC. And Escape Academy, June 28th on console.
Very excited to see TMNT Shredder's Revenge coming to Game Pass. And 6-player co-op as well.
Yes, and I'm
That
sure there'll
is
be more to come for Game Pass as well this month.
Mad. Oh, yes. So, yeah, definitely go check that one out. Hopefully that will be as good as the old games. Daniel, do you want to take over Ian's duties and tell us what's leaving Game Pass?
I shall. Leaving Game Pass. Pour one out for my homies. Greedfall, Dark Alliance, Darkest Dungeon, Worms Rumble, and Limbo. If you haven't played any of them, you can pick them up for 20% off before they leave Game Pass, which is in, I think 5 days, maybe 6 days.
Yeah,
Normally the 16th or 17th they go.
Yeah, and if you're going to play any of them, I think Graham would recommend Greedfall. Definitely play Limbo.
Limbo, yeah.
And the
You
rest.
can better complete it in 5 days, but you can give it a go.
Yeah. And you mean the Congregate takes more than 5 days to get past?
We have 5 days of listening to that.
Well, if you haven't got 5 days and you fancy picking up some free games you might want to play down the line, Graham, tell us about Games with Gold.
Yes, you have the Inner World, The Last Wind Monk, available from May the 16th to June 15th. Avon Connolly from June the 1st to the 30th. Project High Rise Architects Edition from June the 16th to July 15th. Super Meat Boy from June the 1st to the 15th. And Rascals from June the 16th to the 30th.
I mean, Super Meat Boy is fucking amazing. So if you haven't played that by now, definitely go check that out.
Hard as balls.
It's fucking hard, but oh man, what a game. What a game. I don't think I ever beat it because it's way too hard at the end, but yeah, definitely go check it out. Anyway, thank you very much for listening. If you made it this far, you're fucking heroes, we always say. We love you. It's been a fucking long afternoon of watching Xbox news and checking out all of the wonderful Piffle Snabs. And
4 and a bit hours worth of recording.
yeah, so if you want to go check out our watch along for the Xbox / Bethesda showcase, you can do that on youtube.com/Xbox Tavern Official, which is where we record this podcast each and every week at 8 p.m.
Ish.
Thank you. And you can also follow us on Twitter at Xbox Tavern, xboxtavern.com for reviews, features, interviews, etc., all kinds of written words throughout the week. But in terms of this podcast, it's time for us to go to bed because it's very late.
Well, it's time for some of us to go to bed. Some of us have to sit up and edit the fucking thing. But yeah.
Well, I mean, whatever mug's got to do that, I don't know. But yeah, thank you very much for listening. We'll be back next week. Probably a bit of a skeleton crew next week because a few of us are going to.
And potentially on a different date.
Special guest Pete's Stag Do's. Shout out to special guest Pete. Very much looking forward to that. I hope you've got your baby oil ready.
Oh, yeah.
I have. Why did you book me? Do I need to?
Dad, you're recording. You're not invited.
But yes, thank you very much. We'll see you again next week and the week after and the week after that for various other Xbox Tavern's Xbox Tavern episodes. Have a wonderful week and we'll speak to you soon.
Peace out.
Well.
Bye.